guys, so Poppy Playtime Forever has had another huge update, and today I'm going to be showing you all the new items, the new features, and how to use them. Now, if these videos help you out, I would appreciate it if you guys dropped a like. Now let's jump in. So when you're in build mode, first of all, let's click on the stamper, select all, and then scroll all the way across to the right. So this is where you'll find all of the new items, including a double locker, escape trigger, threshold switch, exit room, there's an exit sign, but for some reason it's labeled threshold switch again. There's an exit door, power lever, toy chest respawner, and some of the coolest things that we now have are particle effects, where we have fire, fog, and steam. We also have some grunge decals, along with like a movie studio set. So as you can see, there's loads of cool new stuff that you can use in your builds, and right at the very end, we also have this bounding box. So let's place one down, and I'll show you what it does. So once you've placed the bounding box, if you click on config, you can resize it just like the normal resizable blocks. So for this example, I'm going to make it 10 by 10 by 4, and then I'm going to place down one of these new wall doorways. Now this bounding box is basically an invisible boundary, so when we click play, I shouldn't be able to walk through that doorway. So as you can see, it looks like there's nothing in the doorway, but when I try walking through, I can't. So these bounding boxes will be really useful for stopping people from going in places they shouldn't be. Okay, next up, let's take a look at the particle effects. So we have fire, fog, and steam. So this is what they look like when you place them in the map. At the moment, they're not resizable, and you can't really do much with the configuration. But let's click test and see what they look like in game. Now just to test, I'm going to walk through the fire, and as you can see, it doesn't cause any damage, so it's literally just for show. This will make it a lot easier to add atmosphere to your games. Next up, let's take a look at this double locker. Now the difference between this and the normal locker is this one you can actually hide in. So this double locker lets you hide from NPCs. So let's place one in the map and test it out. So as you can see, I've got Huggy's attention, and now he's chasing me. But as soon as I step inside the locker, he leaves me alone. Again, this is something that I've wanted them to add to the game, and I'm really happy they've done it. One of the new items that they've added is the threshold switch. So to show you how this works, I've placed down a door, and I'm going to place the threshold switch. And you can also make it hidden, so that when you play in the game, you can't see it. Now the most important thing about this is the percentage. So basically what this threshold switch does is you select the percentage of items that need to be unlocked to open up the door. So for this example, I'm going to place down 4 power levers, and I'm going to set the percentage to 75%. I'm going to connect up the power, and I'm going to change the persist to disabled. Now what this means is that the player will have to pull 75% of the switches to open up the door. Now in this case, of course, 75% of 4 is 3. So that means I'll need to pull 3 switches to open up the door. Now the good thing is, it doesn't matter which 3 switches. Now let's test it out, and hopefully this will make more sense. So the way I've set it up is I need to pull 3 switches for the door to open. So I'm going to pull these 3. And as you can see, the door opens. Now if I close the switch, you can see the door closes again. Now if I pull number 4, it still opens because there's still 3. Like I said, it doesn't matter which switches you pull, it's all about the percentage. So as long as you pull 3 switches, the door will open. But you can change the percentage to whatever you like. Now the AND gate, OR gate, and NOT gate is something that's been in the game since the release, but we've never been able to use it. So let's start off with the AND gate. So the AND gate takes all power inputs and will only output a power if all the inputs are true. So what that means is if you hook it up to 2 switches, both switches have to be activated to open up the door. Now as you can see, when I activate the first keycard scanner, nothing happens. But when I open the second one, the door opens. Next up is the OR gate. The OR gate takes all the power inputs and will output true if at least one of the inputs is true. So what that means is, if you have an A switch and a B switch, once you've connected it up to a door, you only have to activate one of them. So I'm going to set this up with the door and connect all the power. Now both of these power levers are connected to the door, but I only need to activate one of them. So as you can see, both of the power levers activate the door. So the way to remember the difference is that the AND gate means that you have to activate all of the items, and the OR gate means you only do one of them. Next up is the NOT gate. So this is basically to reverse the action. So for example, normally you would use something to open up a door, but with the NOT switch, it reverses it. So what that means is that the door is automatically open, and when you pull the switch, it closes it. Now this is a little bit buggy because the animations are broken, but the developers are aware of it, and hopefully they fix this soon. So even though the animations are broken, as you can see from this example, the door is already open, but when I pull the lever, the door closes. Like I mentioned, right now the animations are broken, but hopefully this will get fixed really soon. Next up is a highly requested feature, which is item spawners can wait to be powered before dropping their item. Now this can be used with anything that can be powered, but for this example I'm going to use a task drop-off container, and I'm going to place down 3 item spawners. 2 of them are going to be fuses, and 1 of them is going to be a battery. Now what you can do using this is you can set it up so that you need to collect 2 fuses to get the battery. So I'm going to change this one on the right to battery, and now you need to connect up the power. Now by default, when you go on config on the item spawner, it says wait until powered, false. If you want something to spawn only when it's had power, change this to true. For the fuses, I'm going to leave those as false. So when you test it, as you can see, the fuses are already there, but there's no battery. Now when I collect the fuses, the battery will spawn. But you can use this in a number of different ways. This is just an example. Another really cool thing that they've added is Dialog Trigger when something is powered. So previously, you could only use the Dialog Trigger when the player touched it, but now you can make the dialogue pop up on the screen when you activate something like a switch. So for this example, I'm going to use a power lever, and I'm going to set it up so that when the player pulls the power lever, that's when the dialogue will pop up. So place them where you want them, and connect the lever to the dialog box. Next, select the dialog box and click config. Type in whatever text you want to pop up. I'm going to put, wow, I pulled a switch. Now by default, it says fires after touched. So that means if you want the player to touch the box for the dialogue to pop up, leave it as true. But if you want them to activate it by pulling a switch or something else that's powered, change it to false. So now you can see this is where the box is, and I'm touching it, but nothing's happening. But when I pull the lever, the dialogue pops up. Now again, you can use this in a bunch of different ways, but that is just an example. Now there are a few different things that they've added, including an escape trigger and an exit room, but these things at the moment don't work. The developers have said that they're currently working on a PvP mode. If you don't know what that is, that's basically player versus player. So the items such as escape trigger and exit room currently don't work. But when they release the PvP mode, then they'll work. Now the developers have said, you may have heard, but we've been hard at work on a new PvP game mode heavily inspired by Poppy Playtime for our next content update. It's our hope to provide a public demo relatively soon before we make the announcement that the new game mode is stable and ready to play, so be on the lookout for that. Now they can't give away too many details, but they have given us a little teaser video, so here it is. So guys, those are some of the new features in the update. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I'll try to help you out. And if this video did help you, drop a like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay mega.